What if one family farm could rival the size of a small town and attract millions of viewers from around the world? Hidden in the wide, windswept fields of Montana sits a farming operation so massive, so technologically advanced, that most people wouldn't believe it's still run by a single family. This is Welker Farms, where tradition meets machines the size of houses, and every harvest carries over a century of history. But this isn't just another story about crops and tractors. Behind the golden fields are high-stakes risks, unpredictable weather, multi-million-dollar equipment, and the constant pressure to keep a legacy alive. One wrong move during planting or harvest can cost more than most people earn in years. So how did a humble family farm transform into one of the most recognized agricultural brands on the internet? And what is life really like when your workplace stretches for miles in every direction? The answers might surprise you. Long before Welker Farms became a name recognized across the internet, it was just a bold dream planted into the unforgiving soil of northern Montana. Back in 1912, when much of the region was still raw frontier, the first Welker took a gamble that most people wouldn't dare, betting everything on land that could either build a future or wipe one out overnight. There were no massive tractors back then, no GPS guidance, and definitely no safety nets. Just determination, brutal winters, and the kind of isolation that tested even the toughest families. Every season was a risk. Crops could thrive one year and completely fail the next. A single hailstorm had the power to erase months of backbreaking work in minutes. Yet somehow, the Welkers didn't just survive, they expanded. Acre by acre, decade by decade, the farm quietly grew into something far bigger than its founders likely ever imagined. What makes this story even more unusual is how rare it is today. Many family farms across America have disappeared, sold off, or been absorbed by massive corporate operations. But Welker Farms held the line. Instead of folding under pressure, the family adapted, passing down not just land, but hard-earned knowledge and an almost stubborn resilience. By the time the third generation stepped in, the farm had already transformed into a serious agricultural powerhouse. But growth brought a new kind of pressure, into the bigger fields, higher costs, and risks that climbed into the millions. Farming was no longer just about survival, it was about precision, timing, and decisions that could shape the farm's future for decades. And just when it seemed like their biggest battles would always be fought against the land, a completely unexpected opportunity began to appear, one that would pull this quiet Montana farm onto a global stage. If you think most farms are a few hundred acres with a couple tractors, Welker Farms completely shatters that picture. Today, the operation stretches across roughly 10,000 acres, so vast that driving from one end to the other can feel like a road trip. During peak seasons, the fields seem endless, painted gold and green under Montana's huge open sky. But scale like this doesn't just happen. It demands a level of coordination that rivals a small corporation. Planting alone is a race against time. Once the soil is ready, there's only a narrow window to get seeds into the ground before weather shifts. One delayed week can mean the difference between a strong yield and a financial hit that echoes for years. Then comes the equipment. And this is where things start to look almost unreal. We're talking machines worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes over $1 million, moving in carefully planned patterns guided by satellite precision. These aren't the tractors most people picture. They're technological giants designed to cover massive ground with near-perfect accuracy. Yet, despite the advanced tech, farming at this level is anything but predictable. Sudden storms can flatten crops overnight. Drought conditions can creep in without warning. Markets swing, fuel prices spike, and repair bills can explode at the worst possible moment. Imagine relying on a single season to justify millions in operating costs. That's the pressure humming beneath every decision. And here's the surprising part. Even with all this growth, Welker Farms is still deeply family-run. The same hands that steer those enormous machines are tied to generations of tradition. But while their size turned heads locally, what happened next would launch them far beyond Montana, into living rooms across the entire world. For decades, life at Welker Farms followed a rhythm most people would never see: panels on factual, long days, short nights, and work that didn't stop just because the clock said it should. Then, something unexpected happened. Instead of keeping that world hidden, the Welkers decided to turn on a camera. At first, it wasn't part of some grand strategy. The idea was simple: show people what modern farming actually looks like. No Hollywood filters, no dramatic soundtrack, just real moments from the cab of a tractor. But almost immediately, viewers were hooked. There was something hypnotic about watching massive machines glide across open fields, something calming about the honesty of it all. Before long, their channel started pulling in viewers not just from rural America, but from major cities, even other countries. Many had never stepped foot on a farm, yet suddenly they were fascinated by seeding seasons, harvest races, and the sheer logistics behind feeding thousands. What truly set Welker Farms apart was authenticity. When equipment broke, they showed it. When conditions got stressful, they didn't hide it. Instead of pretending farming was easy, they revealed the pressure that comes with risking an entire year on forces you can't control. But visibility comes with its own kind of weight. The more the channel grew, the more eyes were watching every move. Expectations climbed. Viewers wanted bigger machines, deeper insights, more access. Almost overnight, this quiet family operation found itself balancing two demanding worlds, running a high-stakes farm while documenting it for hundreds of thousands to see. And just when it seemed like the cameras were the biggest change they'd ever face, an absolute giant entered the picture, a machine so legendary it would capture the internet's attention almost instantly. Just when viewers thought they had seen everything Welker Farms could offer, a machine rolled into the spotlight that looked more like something from a sci-fi movie than a piece of farm equipment. It wasn't just big, it was record-breaking. Meet the legendary Big Bud 747, widely known as the largest farm tractor ever built. The first time this mechanical titan appeared in one of their videos, jaws practically hit the floor. Weighing over 100,000 pounds and powered by an enormous engine, the tractor wasn't designed to impress. It was built to dominate thousands of acres with ruthless efficiency. One pass across a field could accomplish what smaller machines would need multiple trips to finish. But operating something this massive isn't exactly casual work. Every movement demands precision. Repairs aren't just inconvenient, they can cost a small fortune. And transporting a machine of this scale, let's just say it's not something you casually haul down the highway. Yet the Big Bud became more than equipment, it turned into a symbol. For longtime farming fans, it represented raw agricultural power. For newer viewers, it shattered every outdated image of what farming looks like. Suddenly, people realized modern agriculture isn't stuck in the past. It's a world driven by engineering, innovation, and calculated risk. The internet couldn't get enough. Videos featuring the tractor pulled huge attention, introducing Welker Farms to audiences who had never searched for farming content before. But while the Big Bud brought excitement and visibility, it also hinted at something deeper. Because running machines like this means the financial stakes are enormous, and the margin for error gets thinner every single season. Success on the internet didn't just bring Welker Farms attention, it quietly opened doors that most family farms never get the chance to walk through. As their audience exploded, major agricultural manufacturers started paying close attention. After all, when hundreds of thousands of loyal viewers are watching your equipment perform in real-world conditions, that kind of visibility is priceless. Soon, partnerships began to form with industry giants like Case IH, a brand known for producing some of the most advanced farming machinery on the planet. These weren't flashy celebrity-style deals, they were built on credibility. Farmers trust farmers, and the Welkers had earned a reputation for showing machines exactly as they are: the good, the bad, and the expensive. With these relationships came access to cutting-edge technology. We're talking tractors guided by satellite accuracy, combines capable of harvesting huge sections of land with stunning efficiency, and data, systems that track everything from seed placement to yield performance. Farming had officially entered the precision era, and Welker Farms was riding that wave. But here's what many people don't realize. Newer technology doesn't always mean less stress. In fact, it often raises the stakes. When a single machine can cost as much as a luxury home, every decision carries serious weight. Weather delays suddenly feel more costly. Market dips hit harder. Even minor mechanical issues can trigger repair bills that make your stomach drop. And then there's the pressure of being watched. Once partnerships enter the picture, expectations climb. Viewers expect transparency, companies expect professionalism. The margin for mistakes feels smaller than ever. Yet through it all, the Welkers managed to walk a careful line, embracing innovation without losing the authenticity that built their audience in the first place. But just as everything seemed to be running at full speed, reality reminded everyone that farming, no matter how advanced, is still one of the most unpredictable ways to make a living. Just when it looked like technology and partnerships had given the farm a smoother path forward, nature stepped in as a powerful reminder that agriculture still plays by its own rules. At Welker Farms Incorporated, no amount of preparation can fully control what happens once the season begins. Out here, the weather isn't just small talk, it's the difference between profit and loss. A sudden hailstorm can tear through healthy crops in minutes. Late snow can delay planting. Dry conditions can slowly drain yield potential week after week, and when your operation spans thousands of acres, even a minor shift in conditions can ripple into massive financial consequences. Then there are the moments no one plans for. Equipment failures tend to happen at the worst possible times, right in the middle of planting or harvest, when every hour counts. Imagine racing against an incoming storm while a critical machine suddenly goes down. Repairs aren't quick, and they definitely aren't cheap. Farming also carries physical risks that most viewers rarely consider. Long days, heavy machinery, and unpredictable environments demand constant focus. One split-second mistake can turn serious fast, which is why experience becomes one of the most valuable assets on any large operation. What makes the Welkers stand out is how openly they've shared these realities. Instead of presenting a polished version of farm life, they've shown the stressful days, the tough calls, and the seasons that didn't go according to plan. That honesty only deepened viewers' respect, because people weren't just watching success, they were witnessing resilience in real time. And strangely enough, these challenges didn't push their audience away. They pulled people even closer. But the growing spotlight created a new question, one the family couldn't ignore forever. How do you protect a century-old legacy when the entire world is suddenly watching? Fame is a strange thing, especially when it finds you in a place as quiet and remote as northern Montana. What started as a simple way to document farm life has transformed Welker Farms Incorporated into something far bigger than a local operation. Today, their reach stretches across continents, with viewers tuning in from cities, suburbs, and countries that look nothing like the wide-open plains the Welkers call home. But global attention brings a new kind of pressure, one that previous generations never had to face. Every planting decision, every equipment purchase, every risky weather call now unfolds in front of an audience that's deeply invested in the outcome. It's no longer just about doing what's best for the farm. It's about carrying forward a legacy while thousands, sometimes millions, are watching. There's also the challenge of the future. Modern agriculture is changing fast. Costs keep climbing, land grows harder to secure, and the next generation of farmers across America is shrinking. Many historic family farms have quietly disappeared over the past few decades, unable to keep up with the financial and operational demands of large-scale production. Yet the Welkers seem determined not just to survive, but to evolve. By blending tradition with innovation, they've created a model that feels both old school and forward-thinking. The tractors may be guided by satellites now, but the mindset remains rooted in grit, patience, and long-term thinking. Still, one question lingers beneath all the success. What happens next? Can a family farm this large remain truly family-run as agriculture becomes more complex and more expensive? Because the truth is, the story of Welker Farms isn't just about massive machines or internet fame. It may be a glimpse into the future of farming itself, and whether the family farm can still thrive in a rapidly changing world. After everything, the growth, the machines, the global audience, and the non-stop pressure, the story of Welker Farms Incorporated leaves us with something far more surprising than just the scale of their operation. It challenges the way most people picture modern farming. For many viewers, farms still exist as a nostalgic image: red barns, small fields, and slow-paced country life. But the Welkers have quietly rewritten that narrative. What they've built operates with the precision of a major business, yet it still runs on family trust, shared history, and lessons passed down through generations. And maybe that's the most fascinating part. In an era where automation is replacing human labor and corporations are absorbing independent farms, Welker Farms proves that adaptation might be the real secret to survival. They didn't resist change, They leaned into it. Cameras, advanced machinery, data-driven decisions, all while protecting the identity that made their farm unique in the first place. But don't mistake their success for certainty. The future of agriculture remains unpredictable. Economic swings, climate patterns, and rising operational costs continue to test even the strongest farms. Staying large is one challenge. Staying family-run might be an even bigger one. Still, if their past has shown anything, it's that resilience is practically woven into their DNA. Every generation faced moments that could have ended the story, and somehow, the farm kept moving forward. So the next time you pass endless fields or see a massive tractor rolling across the horizon, remember this. Behind operations like Welker Farms are families making high-stakes decisions every single day to help feed the world. And as agriculture hurtles into the future, one quiet question remains. Will more family farms rise to this level, or will stories like this become increasingly rare? What makes Welker Farms Incorporated truly unforgettable isn't just the thousands of acres or the jaw-dropping machines. It's the mindset that has carried this family through more than a century of uncertainty. While most people will never experience the pressure of investing an entire year's income into seeds placed in unpredictable soil, for the Welkers, that risk is simply part of life. Their journey reveals something many don't see from the outside. Modern farming isn't slow or outdated. It's fast, strategic, and filled with decisions that can change everything overnight. One smart move can push the farm forward for years. One bad season can test even the strongest operation. Yet despite the weight of rising costs, shifting weather, and an industry evolving at lightning speed, they continue to prove that family farms aren't relics of the past. In many ways, they may be the blueprint for the future, blending tradition with innovation in a way that keeps them competitive without losing their roots. But maybe the biggest takeaway is this. Success at this scale doesn't happen by accident. It takes resilience, trust, and a willingness to adapt when the stakes couldn't be higher. Because long after the cameras stop rolling and the harvest ends, the real question remains, who will have the grit to carry the legacy forward into the next generation?